artificial intelligence, smart cities. There's a lot of hype around these products. There's a lot of companies investing in these products, but we are going to talk to someone today who believes that they are doing it very differently. Subhash Challa, I would love to know, you're from SenSen. What is your company doing differently with this new Gemini product to other smart city projects around the world?
Yeah, thanks for inviting us, and would love to share the excitement we are having about the launch of this new product called Gemini. And when you look at smart city products and projects around the world, they're all infrastructure risk, or rich. I mean, for people to deploy, any kind of smart city monitoring, be it on pole-mounted cameras or other sensors that people use, or vehicle-mounted systems, or portable systems, they're all needing very specialist equipment.
And expensive.
Expensive equipment. So just to give an example, if somebody has to put a camera on a pole to monitor what's happening in and around on the streets or the roads or whatever, they need to first have a camera, they need to have a router, they need to have a way to power it, and they need to have a processor that can intelligently process the video. If you want to run the artificial intelligence algorithms and all that, it all becomes a very expensive exercise to deliver that kind of capability to a smart city, just at one point. Now imagine doing that for kilometers and kilometers of the cities that they are supposed to cover. Right? So what we found was that actually creates a lot of bottlenecks in the adoption of technology, the services the smart cities need to have. The sales processes become very long because they're all mega infrastructure, big budgets, things like that. So one of the revolutionary ideas that I have been playing around with my team of researchers in SenSen is to look at a smartphone and say, hey, smartphone is really not a smartphone. It is more than a smartphone. It has really high quality cameras in them, a Wi-Fi and communications and 4G networks and upcoming 5G network capabilities there with them. Extremely powerful processors are there with them. Memory and hard disk, everything is in them, all in one package, in a very small, thin device. Right? So the brainstorm in our company was, if only we can run all the smart city analytics and monitoring applications in a smartphone, it will become so cost effective to put it on the pole or give it in the hands of a police officer or a parking officer or any kind of smart city monitoring officer and deliver the same services.
Yeah.
It will be truly disruptive. The cost of a phone is few $100, and if a few $100 can deliver what tens of thousands of dollars can deliver, it will become disruptive. And that belief is what drove us to build this product called Gemini. And we originally trialed it, in building up the solution with one of the biggest cities in Australia to monitor illegal dumping activity.
Oh.
And it was proven to be extremely successful. We could monitor, at least thousands of activities of dumping, and 5% of them were illegal. And that was a massive statistics that we could deliver just with a smartphone that is mounted on a pole.
And it's just a smartphone.
It's a smartphone.
At a fraction of the cost of, because I'm sure as soon as you get into the hardware, as soon as there's a specialist hardware provider, the cost must just reach Pentagon type levels, right?
True. And a lot of companies in the world are actually still pursuing designing special cameras. They're trying to think that designing these cameras is the right way to do it. While we took a different approach to say, what is the smartest platform that you have, which is a smartphone, and then give the intelligence that it needs to monitor smart cities. That actually changes the game completely. And we, true to that belief, we actually worked very hard for last 8-9 months, targeting a launch, and properly launched it in the US and Australia at the same time at 2 major conferences. One was at a Parking Industry Expo in Chicago and a Smart Cities 4.0 in Melbourne. And the response was amazing. We had great press coverage, and all the analysts and smart geeks in the world are all talking about it, and even the customers are seeing the benefit of it. The trick was, can we deliver the accuracy that a specialist camera can deliver in a smartphone? And that's the specialty of SenSen. We have been leaders in this game of AI and IoT devices. And we, in head-to-head competitions, we have been able to show that the smartphone, in fact, beats the earlier things. Because if you look at a smartphone, you can have a 24 megapixel for nothing. It comes for free. Okay, and it is having better night quality images all the time. AI processor getting embedded into that all the time. So we believe that using that as a platform to deliver increased intelligence to smart cities is the way to go. And we are very bullish about it, and we are seeing the response already from a lot of customers and partners to adopt the technology.
Right, okay. Now, you have another product, SenGame, right? Now, this is all about, I looked into this is amazing stuff, right? You're in casinos, you're looking at the heights of people's chip stacks, matching it to the color to figure out how much people are investing. So, but tell me more about what can you use SenGame for? What can you use your AI technology for in a casino like these big ones in Macau that you're in?
Yeah, I mean, when we, it was a serendipitous, accidental, bump into Crown Casino one day when they, encouraged us to look at this problem, because they already knew about our reputation of solving complex AI and monitoring problems in other markets like airports and other things. And they said, if there is one company in the world that can actually try and have a go at this, is SenSen. And I can tell you that SenGame actually is a solution to a problem that's considered as a holy grail problem in casinos. If you go to casino business, there are two main lines of business, if you look at it at a high level. One is poker machines, another is table games. The popularity of table games is very high, where people think that they're playing against a dealer as opposed to a machine in a poker machine. Right? So people like to come there and try out their luck and try out their strategies and all that stuff. So the popularity of table games has been growing and increasing. But unlike poker machines, where every press of a button is recorded by the casino to know the analytics of who is sitting there, how long they've been sitting, and how much money they have been transacting, that information is not available at all on a table games, because it's interactive. There's no electronic logging of each bet activity. So people have been trying to solve this problem for some time. And one of the most well-known methods was to use an RFID chip inside the coin and put a reader underneath. But effectively, that means you had to change the table, you had to put many readers for each betting location.
Sounds
you need a reader. That's just unviable for most cities, most casinos in the world, right? So we were encouraged to build a solution to use low-cost cameras that can monitor the activity just like a human would monitor, and understand the betting activity on a live table game floor. So now this is very complex AI, because people are interacting, there's occlusion, there is shadows, there is lighting, colors of chips are all very different, they look different in different colors.
We've all seen that from watching Mission Impossible movies, how hard it is to figure out what's going on.
Exactly. So it is like that, it's Mission Impossible for SenSen was try to solve this and solve it 100% accurately. So one of the big deals is that because it deals with monitoring money, effectively chips are money, you had to be 100%. You cannot be 90%. You cannot be 95%. It has to be 100%. And trying to go towards the goal of 100% in all kinds of operating environments was the challenge that we overcame. We pretty much solved the problem about a year ago. And believe it or not, we actually solved it using a smartphone there too. We actually put a couple of smartphones on the side of the table, and using the power of the smartphone processing and the quality of images we get, we do it. Now we've extended it to use other cameras as well. But the core concept was to be able to take a video stream or image stream as the games are happening, detect when the game begins, when the game ends, how many people are playing, how long they've been playing, is there a loyalty card player, how much money is the person bet, and what is the state of game, like who is winning, is the house edge being maintained, how many side bets are being taken up. There's a whole bunch of questions that casinos want to answer. And SenGame is designed to answer all that.
And what's been the take up so far? You've had some big names take this up?
Yeah, so we started out with Crown, which is one of the biggest one.
Of course.
But we faced one major problem when we're trying to take it to the market, where everybody's stuck with this belief that it actually works. So we were showing it off in conferences, and they say, "Oh, it works on Crown chips, but will it work on my chips or our chips or our? We have 10 different denominations of chips. Will it work on that?" So we had to cut through this hard time where we were able to, engage in, different proof of concept trials around the world. We have been showing that, hey, it doesn't matter what type of chips you put. We can learn that, and the system can actually detect that. I think we've gone through that hard time now, and we are at a point where we're getting success in multiple continents. So we recently won Soler Casino in Philippines, which I think is a great, one of the biggest endorsements for our team and how persistent we were in trying to get there. And recently we have been able to also acquire a new casino in Macau, where they also started to go beyond the proof of concept trials and starting to roll out in a small number of tables. The process goes through where we had to prove that we can read their chips. Then they want to put it and roll it out in small scale. That's a big win for us. And once the small scale is done, they will obviously want to go do the full scale rollout. So there are a number of casinos in the world in different stages of this process. And we believe that as people get more comfortable that this technology actually works and they don't need to waste time in POCs and all that, we expect the sales cycle to reduce and adoption to become more active.
And you've got a road show ahead, so I suppose you're happy with the timing of that in terms of what you can now show off?
Every 6 months, our executive team, our executive director, David Smith, and I are trying to go and meet our customers and people who have backed us in investment world and update them on the exciting development that we're doing, and also meeting some customers, partners, on that.
Like North America, those kind of places?
Yeah, we actually start off in Sydney and Melbourne and cover other parts of Australia as well as the demand goes. Then we go to Hong Kong, Singapore, and UK, New York, and North America in general. And we are trying to welcome as much investor interest in our company as possible. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, Subhash Challa, it sounds like fascinating technology and also a very intriguing investment. Thank you so much for your time and all the best to you in SenSen.
Thank you.